People don't normally think about yoga as being a problem solver for back pain. We immediately go to the osteo, we get a sports massage, we take a painkiller. When in fact, we should be doing this ourselves, learning to work and work better with our own bodies. So right now, I'm gonna show you 2 exercises for each part of the back, lower, middle, and rotational, which are the common places where some of this pain that you may be feeling in your back originates from. If we can alleviate muscle tension, pulling and tugging at the spine incorrectly, a lot of times we can relieve back pain. So let's get started. We're gonna start with lower, then into middle, and then work on rotational spine. And I hope this really helps you out. Give some feedback and let me know what you think. So the first part of the back we're gonna look at is lower back. Super common problem that we hear that people have all the time. I'm gonna give you 2 exercises right now you can do. I want you to see if you can do these, not just once, but see if you can incorporate this into a little 5-minute daily ritual in the morning for lower back pain. So take a big inhale, hands go up in the air, big stretch. And if you exhale, come all the way down to the ground and put your hands on the ground, bend your knees and walk back into plank position. And now stick your butt up in the air and press your shoulders back towards your feet. So this is downward dog, right? So all I want you to do is get your shoulders pushing back as far as they can, tilt your butt up to the ceiling as much as you can. See that nice little adjustment he did? If you tilt your butt up, you can already see the lengthening of the back. Now, if you don't mind, Jamie, just bend your knees a little bit, and then just a bit more, and now straighten them out. And then lengthen the back. So here we go. So we're working on strengthening and lengthening the hamstrings. The hamstrings lengthening is gonna reduce pulling on your back. So by lengthening the hamstrings, we're actually relieving lower back pressure. So bend the knees and straighten the knees. Super easy stretch. And then keep going with that, Jamie, and just make a rhythm of bending and straightening. And then as you go along, see if you can start to go a little bit deeper with that bend and then a little bit straighter with those legs. Maybe even going so deep that your knees almost even touch the ground. So super deep and then lifting up. Good. So we've got about 10 of those. And as you go, like I said, start to go a little bit deeper. So we've done about 10 of those, and we should start feeling like we're opening up. So Jamie, walk yourself to the front of the mat, and let's get started with exercise number 2. So here we go. So big inhale, hands up, and then exhale all the way down again. We're gonna walk or hop back to plank position. Jamie, sink your butt down nice and low for me and look up and lift your chest up and pull the shoulders down. So he's carrying weight evenly through the whole spine. Now, if you lift your left leg up just a little bit, it's a 1-leg up dog. Take a big exhale, stick that left leg high up in the air and look back, push your shoulders back and your 1-leg split. Now, take a big inhale, sweep right back down, chest lifts, butt drops. Exhale back, leg up high. Good. Coming forward with your inhale, and then exhale back. We do about 10 of those. And then I want you to switch legs right away. So drop the left leg, lift the right leg, take your big exhale, sweeping back, pushing back, and then coming forward, looking up, reaching up with the chest. Exhale back, inhale forward. And last time, exhale back, and pushing forward. Beautiful job, guys. Okay. Next up, I want you to come back into downward dog for me and hop or walk forward to the front of the mat. Okay, so now let's start on the middle back, that thoracic spine, rolling the shoulders back and getting rid of that hunch in our back. We're always leaning forward, hunched forward, and we really want to bring those shoulders back and lifted and make ourselves taller and bring some relief to this middle part of the thoracic part of the spine. So the first one is actually really easy, but it's ridiculously hard at the same time. So take a big inhale, Jamie, and lift your hands up in the air. Now we're gonna keep the hands there, and I want you to try as much as you can to lift your hands up as high as you possibly can. So they're really lifting, the shoulders are lifting up, everything's lifting up, and it really feels like you're making yourself a lot taller. Now once you've done that lift, and that sensation of lifting, you have to pull the shoulders down. So one side is pulling down, the shoulders, and the other side are pulling up, the hands. So it's really weird. So once he dropped his shoulders down, His hands came forward a little bit. So acknowledge that. Make a little bit extra effort to pull the hands up and back a little bit. Even if it's a little micro bit, it's all worthwhile. Those little micro adjustments are what really matter. Now, we're gonna go even deeper in this. We're gonna really start working on this region. So I want you to look up in between your hands. Keep that lift sensation, keep the shoulders pulling down, and I want you to start thinking about looking at something up on the ceiling, and every time you exhale, bring your hands back a little bit farther. As you do that into your back bend, you must squeeze and engage your glutes to protect your lower back. So it's lifting up and back while squeezing your glutes. I want to see 10 nice big breaths out of you until you're looking back, maybe even to the back of the room, and watching your hands track on the ceiling. So every time you exhale back, your hands are moving back a little farther. It's not just about back bending, it's about moving the hands back. That's gonna really open up this thoracic spine region. And look at how good of a job he's doing with this. Lifting up is gonna protect your back. Reaching back is going to extend the thoracic spine, and that's where the healing really begins. One more nice big breath, Jamie, and reaching back. Now, to get out of this, you're gonna slowly fold forward, nice and slow, because you just did some hard work. And you come all the way forward as a counter stretch, trying to touch your toes, and relax your head and relax your hands. You can roll up to the spine and do that again. I would probably do it twice, 10 big breaths. And then we can move on to something a bit more dynamic. Big stretch, inhale, hands up. And then what I want you to do is come all the way back down and bring the right leg back to the back of the mat. Good. So now, if you don't mind, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set ourselves up for pigeon. So you just take that front foot and swing it over and to the right and sit on it. Just sit down on it. Good. Now, here's the rub. You can't have your foot right in your groin because you're not getting a big stretch, but you don't necessarily have it available to you to get any more forward. So try and bring your foot a little bit more forward. And you find like, okay, that's really difficult. So he got about 3 inches out of that, which is remarkable, but you might not be able to get any out of it, but we can work towards it. So what you're gonna do is tuck your back toe under, and in one nice move, we're gonna take this foot and we're gonna swing it right up in the air into that 3-legged dog. So that's one nice move. Take a big exhale, swing up. Beautiful. Now inhale, let's land right back down in that pigeon position and roll the shoulders back. So we're gonna keep repeating that. And each time we land, we're gonna settle the hips a little bit deeper and try and get this foot even a little bit more forward each time. So it makes it a bit dynamic, but we're gonna try and work on building up that a little bit at a time, not all at once. So exhale back, and inhale forward. Good, roll the shoulders back. Big exhale up in the air, get it back, and forward. Good, so already it's starting to open up, and it's not gonna happen like magic. About 10 of those, and then let's switch sides. So you go back to downward dog, and now put that other leg forward and sit on it. Now you might find that one leg is different than the other, or one is more restricted or more open than the other. That's normal, don't worry about that. And then so let's start our next set. Get it up in the air, swing it up, and landing forward, try and get that foot a little bit more forward every time. Make that move forward just a little bit, even if it's a micro centimeter. And coming forward. Good, one more time. Back. And coming forward. Beautiful. So we just let ourselves open up to this possibility and stretching and working dynamically at the same time. Right, we've got one more part of the spine left to go, and that is we don't just extend and flex the spine, but it also rotates and twists. It's a compression joint, and it really needs to work 360. We don't ever access that rotation in our spine, so it gets stiff and tight, and that's when problems really start to happen, and you see those flare-ups on one side or the other side of your back. So there's a lot we can do to relieve that in yoga, and it can save you a ton of money at the osteo just by doing, again, a quick little routine of this in the morning. It will only take you 5 minutes. So let's get started. 2 quick exercises. Inhale, hands up, big stretch up, Jamie. And then exhale, come all the way forward and just hang out there. Now, if Jamie bends his knees quite a lot, He's in like a mini squat position. Now, if he lifts his hands up in the air and looks up between them, but stays down deep in his squat, he's starting to be in what we call a chair posture. And now we're gonna work on the twist part. So Jamie, just put your fist to palm at your chest, and I want you to rotate your right elbow over the outside edge of your left leg. Right elbow goes to outside edge of left leg. Beautiful. Now the object of the game is to stack the elbow, the shoulders, and the elbow in one nice line. Also, trying to keep these knees together and in line. So see how one knee is in front of the other words? Try and keep your knees together and even with each other. All the work happens on the exhale. He's gonna drive this elbow into the knee, pushing against it so he stays straight and only the spine twists. So Jamie, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, see if you can twist a little bit more. Good, see that? Another inch. Inhale, exhale, big twist. Every time you exhale, another little bit of twist happens. Inhale, exhale, twist. Look at how much farther he's going with each exhale. I want about 5 of those, and then to get out of it, just release your hands down to the ground and roll up through the spine. So it's nice and slow. Release up, big stretch up to the sky, and then just do the other side. Okay, so we've got one more to go, and this is a bit more dynamic, but it will also increase the rotation in the spine. So Jamie, if you don't mind, inhale your hands up to the ceiling, big stretch, and then exhale all the way down, hands touch the ground. Beautiful. Now bring your left leg back to the back of the mat, and then just place that left heel right on the ground, and put your right hand on the inside edge of your foot, and bring your left hand up in the air and look at it. So this is called an extended angle. This hand and shoulder should all be in a nice line. Don't worry about if you're coming really forward, just work on it and trying to get to this position as your goal. And it doesn't matter if you're in a nice straight line or not. Sink your hips down nice and low and straighten out that back leg. So you're creating a nice long line in your body. Now here's the dynamic part of this twisting spine. I want you to take a big inhale, don't move anything, straighten out the front leg and just come onto your fingertips into triangle. Now the front leg must be straight and this must be maintained. Take a big exhale, bend that right knee and put your palm flat on the ground. So we're sinking the hips down nice and low as we drop onto that hand. So we're sinking nice and low in the hips as we drop down onto that hand. So here we go. It's a big inhale, straighten out the front leg, coming onto the fingertips, and then exhale all the way down. And here we go. Inhale, rising up, straightening out the front leg. Exhale, dropping the palms, sinking the hips. And again, inhale, rise. Exhale, coming down. About 10 of these. Inhale, rise. Exhale, coming down. Trying to get the arm more vertical each time. Now to get out of this, after you've done your 10, bring that hand down and take a big exhale back into downward dog. Now this doesn't happen overnight. I've given you all the right tools. You have to put it into play now. That means devoting like 5 minutes. That's all I ask for. But give yourself a chance to do all of these exercises 5 minutes in the morning or 5 minutes before you work out or 5 minutes after you work out every day for the next week, 2 weeks, and let me know if you don't start feeling better because I guarantee you will.